Hello everyone and welcome back to Xbox Nation. My name is Fletcher and this is my review of Double Fine Productions' new game called Keeper. Interestingly, this one actually comes from Double Fine's B team, meaning it's not a Tim Schafer led project. So naturally, I was quite curious to see whether they managed to capture that signature Double Fine weirdness and all the charm that we know and love. I've played through the entire game and even earned the full 100%, and I'm ready to give you the most complete review that I possibly can. So, is Keeper a game worth holding on to, or is it one to let go of? Well, let's dive in and find out. Right from the start, I have to say, Keeper won't be for everyone, and that's okay. Given the scale and ambition here, Double Fine clearly aimed for something very different. The story isn't traditional, even compared to other Double Fine projects like Psychonauts or even Brutal Legend. Instead, this game is told entirely without any dialogue, which means the world design, visual cues and even sound all have to do the very heavy lifting. To give you a bit of an idea about the story, in short, you're helping your bird-like companion, known as Twig, in search of their flock after a dark presence descends upon their bizarre island home. It's a very simple premise on the surface, but in true Double Fine fashion, things quickly get incredibly strange. The overarching narrative leaves plenty of room for interpretation, and by the end, players may walk away with very different conclusions. If you've played games like Limbo, Inside, or even the recent Hurdling, you'll recognise this approach time and time again. These kind of games don't hand you a clear story, instead they give you a sort of canvas to explore, question and auto-interpret. That's why some players might not click with Keeper. It's abstract and introspective rather than direct or even traditional. Building on that storytelling style, Keeper is more about the journey than high-octane gameplay. This one actually mixes light platforming, exploration, and even puzzle solving. You basically begin as an anthropomorphic lighthouse, yes really, but as you progress, things evolve quite dramatically. I won't spoil these transformations because discovering them yourself is actually part of the magic of Keeper, but trust me, this game is not just about controlling a singular lighthouse. When it comes to puzzles though, don't worry as they're not overly complicated. In fact, some of them might be a little too easy. While I do wish there were more creativity in a few spots throughout my adventure, there are still some clever moments, like manipulating time to access blocked areas, or even turning your companion into a ghost to pass through walls. It's a relatively good mix overall, it's simple, satisfying, and just never too frustrating. That said, if you do prefer constant action, Keeper might feel a little bit slow for you. It's much more of a reflective experience, one that, much like Inside, nails its atmosphere and its themes through pacing and tone rather than its challenge. Now, as much as I enjoy Keeper, I do have one major gripe: the controls. They can feel a little bit wonky and unresponsive at times throughout my playthrough. For example, using the right stick to direct your light can occasionally glitch or even cause your character to bug out during platforming sections. It's not game breaking, but compared to something like Psychonauts, I found it noticeably less polished. I would say you can expect some awkward moments, especially during the first hour or two, or maybe some clipping within the environment, which was unfortunate to see. Hopefully some patches later down the line do actually fix this and polish it a bit more, but out of the gate there are a couple of rough experiences. Visually though, this is a Double Fine Productions game at its absolute best. Every environment and creature feels meticulously crafted, from stunning attention to detail at every single moment. From the hand-painted brushstrokes of the trees, to even the barnacles and the fauna that's clinging to the world's surreal inhabitants, it really is a triumph of artistic vision. Lee Petty and the art team over at Double Fine deserve some massive credit here. Keeper might be one of the most visually striking games of this generation that I've ever played, and honestly, words really don't do it justice. Many have called this game an art project, and that really is a spot-on interpretation. It feels like a real showcase of Double Fine's creative soul, a smaller scale, deeply expressive experience that really proves the studio hasn't lost its magic. Each new area had my jaw dropping to the floor, and I never got tired of exploring this weird and wonderful world. I would say if you value atmosphere and immersion above anything else, then Keeper absolutely delivers. So I managed to test Keeper on both of the Xbox Series X and S consoles, and performance across both of them is rock solid across the board. Both versions do run at 60 FPS with no performance or even quality toggle, which is actually great to see, especially for the lower end console. The Series X does appear to hit native 4K from some of my little pixel peeping, while the Series S looks to hover between that sort of 900p and 1080p outputs. Both though do obviously hold that 60 FPS target pretty beautifully, so there's no stumble in performance across the board. Of course though, this is a smaller scale title, so the consistency is pretty impressive, and I do fully expect it will run just as well on the handheld devices like the Xbox Rock Ally when those release this current week. With its smooth performance, its beautiful visuals and some great gameplay, there's no complaints here, especially within the performance department. So you may be wondering though, should you be playing Keeper or downloading it on Xbox Game Pass? Well, if you love games like Inside, Limbo or even Hurdling, then this one's definitely for you. It's not a mainstream title like Psychonauts, which does explain the low-key marketing by Xbox at this moment in time, but that's also kind of part of its charm. If you do have Xbox Game Pass, there's no reason not to give it a try. Go into this one with a very open mind though, and let that world just wash over you. Don't expect fast-paced gameplay, instead expect atmosphere, artistry, and also a story that lingers long after you finish it. Keeper will certainly divide its audiences, and to me that is completely fine. Personally, I absolutely love my time with it. It's classic Double Fine, weird, wonderful, artistically insane, and just bound to be remembered fondly by a dedicated fan base. Just like the studio's other cult favourites, this one will easily stick as a moment in time. Remember, this game is available on Xbox Game Pass, so I highly recommend that you give it a go, and most importantly, dive into this one with a complete open mind.